Rogues. Every party has to have a rogue, right? Well, I don't know about that. However, rogues are lots of fun to play because there's so many different ways you can play a rogue. You can play an assassin, like some bloodthirsty, will do anything for money kind of backstreet assassin. Well, wow, that sounded weird. But anyway, you get the point. You can do that. Or you can play someone who's not necessarily a bad dude, but just has a certain skill set, shall we say. And there are plenty of wonderful examples out there for you to take on. For me, what I've always felt like with the rogue is this. I think the rogue is ultimately the dungeon delver. Like if there's somebody that would go into a dungeon, disarm traps, figure out puzzles, and sneak in, sneak out, and be able to handle themselves, I feel like that's who the rogue is. That's what the rogue is all about. But that's just my opinion, and there's definitely other ways to play the rogue. If you're in a campaign that doesn't do much dungeon crawling, you will definitely need to play a different type of rogue. Of course, maybe you need to be a rogue that's more about, intrigue and disguise and deception and that sort of thing. And there's all of these mechanics rolled into the rogue. I love seeing other people playing rogues, because honestly, I think that this might be one of the roles or one of the classes that it's certainly one of the classes I have the least experience with, and I think it's also might be one of the classes that I'm the least skilled at portraying and playing, which is interesting. And I think maybe that means that there's an opportunity for me to have fun in an upcoming or future game into really digging into the rogue as a class and what I might find in it. I did play one in what was meant to be a campaign, but we only got to play a few games, 3, and I had fun with that rogue. I saw him as, again, this sort of, my intention for that rogue was that he was very good at figuring out puzzles. He was super high intelligence, very good at figuring things out. So I believe I was intending that he would be an arcane trickster, which means he was a thief, a rogue who would have some access to magical abilities, and he was all about uncovering magical secrets and figuring them out and that sort of thing. So that was a fun thought for me, but I didn't get to take it very far. I'm wondering what that would have been like. Furthermore, I made him a high elf, an elf that was sort of contrary to the typical elf, because this sounded interesting to me. And I made it an elf that was sort of sophisticated in an unconventional way. I made him as if he was from the deep south in America, and this kind of old school, maybe Louisiana aristocrat kind of, something like that. I don't know, it was just the idea I had. It might have been a miserable idea, but it was fun. And one of the cool things about rogues, especially if you love doing characters and character voices and improv and role-playing, I think rogues lend themselves beautifully, as do bards, of course, but we've already covered bards in another one of these videos, but rogues lend themselves beautifully to allowing you this space to engage that, to try that out, to taste that. You can be a rogue, can be the face of the party. You can make a rogue that has a high dex and a high charisma and be the person in the party that's doing the talking, that's being persuasive or being deceptive or what have you. That's one of the things that's cool about rogues. Of course, on top of that, their expertise with skills makes you someone who can be invaluable in a party when played well, of course. We love rogues from all the different streams. From Critical Role, we had 2 fantastic examples of rogues. We had Vox Machina with Vax'ildan, who was an amazing rogue. Now, that was an assassin character, but the way that Liam O'Brien portrayed Vax'ildan, he was never, ever a sinister character, which was really cool. Very, very layered, lots of very complex, complicated character, but not once did he come across as sinister. Now, On the other hand, in Mighty Nine, we have Not the Brave. Not the Brave is this skittish, fun goblin rogue. Lots of fun, very intriguing. Again, many layers, but a completely different rogue. And that's just 2 examples. Now, here's one caveat. I want to make this abundantly clear. I believe that the rogue is the easiest class to slip into, how should I say it? The a-hole character. You can make your rogue a jerk, and nobody likes that kind of a rogue in the party, unless you discuss this with the group before you start playing. Please, I'm begging you, never show up to a game and make a rogue and make that rogue be dipping into your party's pockets and stealing from the group and all of this kind of stuff unless you've absolutely and clearly made this point okay with the group beforehand, because nobody likes that stuff. It's the worst. It's the quickest way to destroy party dynamics. I've seen it happen. It's never fun. It makes other people in the group feel really uncomfortable, and it's a crappy way to play a rogue. So just don't do it, okay? Alright, now that being said, it's fun to you know, steal stuff in a sense from the other players in a lighthearted way, picking their pockets or whatnot, if it's done in the right way, with the right tone, and you've already said this and discussed it with the others ahead of time. Just, you know, follow the golden rule and just don't be a jerk. Be cool. And remember the rule of cool. If it's fun and makes a good story, that's okay, unless you're upsetting the other players at the table. Alright, so that's my advice for the rogue and my thoughts on the rogue. I would love to hear your tales, because I don't really have that many tales about the rogue, so tell me about yours. And leave them in the comments below this video. I'll respond to every one of them. I will see you at a table someday. Keep rolling 20s until then, and remember, it's your game, play your way. Rogues. Now in the Mighty Nine we have... Look what happened again.